If you've ever spent time with generative AI, you know that feeling, right? That frustration of endlessly tweaking your prompts, just crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. Well, today, we're going to talk about a much better way, how to move from just guessing to actually knowing you'll get the right results.
I mean, we've all been there. You ask the AI for something really specific, and what you get back is, well, it's generic, maybe a little off, or sometimes just plain wrong. It feels like you're rolling the dice every single time you hit enter.
And that brings us to what I like to call the GenAI guessing game. This is the way most of us are using these tools right now, and honestly, it's a fundamentally flawed approach.
So when the output is bad, what's our first instinct? We go back and change the prompt, right? We make it longer, we add more detail, maybe we throw in a few examples, but what we're really doing is just treating a symptom. It's not fixing the root cause, and it almost never leads to consistently great results. This quote really just nails it. Excellence in, excellence out. It means we've got to stop obsessing over our instructions and start focusing on the information the AI is actually working with. The real key isn't a better prompt, it's giving the AI better knowledge to begin with.
Okay, so that leads us to the solution. We have to teach the AI our world. This is where we make the huge shift from asking the AI to guess to proactively teaching it the rules, the concepts, and all the relationships that make our business unique.
Now, the first big idea here is something called an ontology. I know it sounds super academic, but think of it like this. It's the official rule book for your business. It's what defines a customer pain point and how that pain point connects to a desired outcome and how both of those things relate to a product feature. It's basically your company's DNA, all mapped out.
And once you have that rule book, you need a way to actually get it to the AI, right? Well, that's where context engineering comes in. This is the deliberate, active process of feeding the AI that structured, high-quality information before it even starts to think about an answer. You're not just giving it a task anymore, you're giving it the specific, tailored knowledge it needs to knock that task out of the park. So we get it. We need to teach the AI. But what does that look like under the hood? How does this actually work? Let's dive into the technology that makes this jump from a simple search to real, genuine reasoning. A lot of you have probably heard of RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation. This is the standard way of doing things now. The AI gets a question, it zips over to a database, finds some documents that seem kind of similar, and then uses those to build an answer. It's a massive improvement over the base models for sure, but it's got some pretty serious blind spots. See, the big problem with classic RAG is that at its core, it's really just a fancy keyword search. It finds chunks of text that sound similar to your query, but it has no clue how one idea actually causes or depends on another. It's just grabbing isolated facts, not a web of connected knowledge. And this chart shows you the difference in a nutshell. Classic RAG finds things that sound alike, but graphRAG, which uses a graph of nodes and edges, understands how things are truly related. This is what lets it do something called multi-hop reasoning. It can literally connect the dots from a customer complaint in a support ticket to a specific product flaw, all the way to a misleading marketing claim. So here's the playbook for how it works. First, you ingest all your data, but you're not just storing text, you're extracting the key concepts and, crucially, the relationships between them. You use that to build a knowledge graph. Then, when a question comes in, the system follows the connections in that graph to pull out a rich, interconnected picture of the relevant knowledge, not just a list of documents. That beautiful, structured context is then what gets fed to the LLM. And this is the aha moment. This is how it all clicks together. Your knowledge graph, that rulebook we talked about, provides the perfectly structured context. That context is fed to the GenAI using context engineering, and that's what allows it to create incredibly specific, relevant content, whether it's a marketing campaign or a script for handling sales objections. Okay, this is all fascinating from a tech perspective, but let's get down to brass tacks. What does this actually mean for your business? What's the real-world payoff here? Why should you actually care? Because the applications are frankly game-changing. Your product team can now ask, what are the top anxieties that are stopping customers from adopting our new feature, and get a real prioritized list. Marketing can instantly generate messaging that hits on the most powerful customer desires. Sales can get AI-generated scripts to handle very specific objections, like concerns about hidden fees. And strategy? Strategy can finally understand the actual causes behind why customers are dropping off. And these benefits just stack up over time, like compound interest. You're getting deep insights in minutes, not weeks.
You slash hallucinations because the AI's answers are grounded in your actual knowledge graph. Your entire company starts working from a single source of truth. And maybe the best part? Every single new piece of data you add, every customer interview, every support ticket, makes a whole system smarter.
So, the main takeaway here is pretty clear. We need to stop treating GenAI like some mysterious black box we can only poke at with prompts. We need to start treating it like an incredibly powerful reasoning engine that we can actively teach. And that really only leaves one question. What's the very first thing you're going to teach it?